Hello everyone, my name Gaith, and I will explain today about the surge protector. A voltage spike is a transient event, typically lasting 1 to 30 microseconds, that may reach over 1000 volts. Lightning that hits a power line can give many thousands, sometimes 100,000 or more volts. A motor when switched off can generate a spike of 1000 or more volts. Spikes can degrade wiring insulation and destroy electronic devices like battery chargers, modems and TVs. Spikes can also occur on telephone and data lines when alternating current AC main lines accidentally connect to them or lightning hits them, or the telephone and data lines travel near lines with a spike and the voltage is induced. A long-term surge, lasting seconds, minutes, or hours, caused by power transformer failures such as a lost neutral or other power company error, are not protected by transient protectors. Long-term surges can destroy the protectors in an entire building or area. Even tens of milliseconds can be longer than a protector can handle. Long-term surges may or may not be handled by fuses and overvoltage relays. A transient surge protector attempts to limit the voltage supplied to an electric device by either blocking or shorting current to reduce the voltage below a safe threshold. Blocking is done by using inductors which inhibit the sudden change in current. Shorting is done by spark gaps, discharge tubes, zener-type semiconductors, and metal-oxide varistors (MOVs), all of which begin to conduct current once a certain voltage threshold is reached, or by capacitors which inhibit the sudden change in voltage. Some surge protectors use multiple elements. The most common and effective way is the shorting method, in which the electrical lines are temporarily shorted together as by a spark gap, or clamped to a target voltage as by a MOV, resulting in a large current flow. The voltage is reduced as the shorting current flows through the resistance in the power lines. The spike's energy is dissipated in the power lines and/or the ground, or in the body of the MOV, converted to heat. Since a spike lasts only tens of microseconds, the temperature rise is minimal. However, if the spike is large enough or long enough, like a nearby hit by lightning, there might not be enough power line or ground resistance, and the MOV, or other protection element, can be destroyed and power lines melted. Surge protectors for homes can be in power strips used inside, or a device outside at the power panel. Sockets in a modern house uses 3 wires, line, neutral and ground. Many protectors will connect to all 3 in pairs, line neutral, line ground and neutral ground, because there are conditions, such as lightning, where both line and neutral have high voltage spikes that need to be shorted to ground. The terms surge protection device (SPD) and transient voltage surge suppressor (TVs) are used to describe electrical devices typically installed in power distribution panels, process control systems, communication systems, and other heavy-duty industrial systems, for the purpose of protecting against electrical surges and spikes, including those caused by lightning. Scaled-down versions of these devices are sometimes installed in residential service and trans-electrical panels, to protect equipment in a household from similar hazards. A surge protection device mounted on a residential circuit breaker panel. Many power strips have basic surge protection built in. These are typically clearly labeled as such. However, in unregulated countries there are power strips labeled as surge or spike protectors that only have a capacitor or RFI circuit or nothing, that do not provide true or any spike protection.
What is the important specifications?
These are some of the most prominently featured specifications which define a surge protector for AC mains, as well as for some data communications protection applications.
How does a surge protector work?
A typical surge protector passes the electrical current along the outlet to number of the devices plugged into the power strip. If the voltage happens to rise above the acceptable level, the protector will divert the extra electricity into the outlet's grounding wire. Grounding wires run parallel to the hot and neutral wires. They provide a pathway for electrical current to follow should there be a breakdown in the system of hot and neutral wires that normally carry the current.
What is the difference between a surge and a spike?
When the voltage increase lasts 3 nanoseconds or more, it is called a surge. When the voltage increase only lasts for 1 or 2 nanoseconds, it is called a spike. That is it, that is the difference. However, those nanoseconds, just billionths of a second, can inflict some major damage on a machine if the surge is high enough.
What usually causes a surge or spike?
One of the most known causes is lightning, although it is very uncommon. More common causes include the operation of high-powered devices such as air conditioners, elevators and refrigerators. The compressors and motors within them require a lot of energy to switch on and off. When switching, it creates sudden, brief demands for power, thus upsetting the current steady voltage flow. The damage typically occurs in the building's electrical system and can be immediate if not protected, or the damage may occur gradually over time. Faulty wiring, issues with the utility company's equipment, and downed power lines are among the most common sources of power surges. Within the complex system of transformers and lines that bring electricity to your homes, there are plenty of possible points where an error could cause an uneven power flow, resulting in an eventual power surge.
Is there a difference between a power strip and a surge protector?
It is important to note that not all power strips are surge protectors. While they look very similar, the sole purpose of a power strip is to add extra outlet space. Sometimes it is difficult to tell the difference if it does not come right out and say so. You can look at the packaging when you are figuring out what exactly you are purchasing. A surge protector should have a Joules rating on its packaging. Joules are the unit of measurement for energy. They measure how long your appliances will be protected. The numbers or joules work like a reservoir. Whenever the protector does its job, it takes a hit and the joules will diminish over time. Sometimes it can take just one massive surge to exceed its limits, and sometimes it takes multiple little surges.
How long do surge protectors last? How do I know when to replace them?
Keeping track of spikes and surges can help in knowing when to purchase a new protector. As mentioned, after a big hit, the amount of joules may be diminished and no longer able to protect your devices. It is also crucial to be aware of when your surge protector was purchased. A good surge protector can sometimes last 3 to 5 years, depending on amount/strength of surges. However, a common rule is to replace them every 2 years. This is because most will continue working without providing protection and without your knowledge that your devices are at risk. If you are lucky, your protector will give you some sort of warning or will shut off when their protection drops below a safe level.
Can I plug a surge protector into an extension cord?
Technically, you can, if the cord can handle the same amount of energy as the surge protector, or better yet, more. However, you should not, because it is a fire hazard. It should be noted that it is against the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA) regulations, as well against the National Electric Code (NEC).
What about another surge protector?
Once again, plugging one surge protector into another is against OSHA and NEC regulations. It also defeats the purpose. The protection capabilities of a surge protector can be interfered with if another is plugged into it, possibly to the point where neither one can perform their job properly. Most warranties will also be voided if it is found out that the cause of the mishap was due to plugging them in on top of each other group of dots. Thank you very much for your watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like.